Chosen one, pause. Not in a casual way. Not the kind of pause where your body stops but your mind keeps racing. I need you to halt internally. Put the device down for a second. Let the room be quiet. Let the air around you settle. Because what I am about to reveal is not motivational content. It is not inspiration dressed in dramatic language. It is disclosure. While preparing this message, something became clear about you that forced me into stillness. Not exaggeration, not hype, stillness. You crossed a threshold recently, and you did not even realize it. This wasn't a public achievement, no applause followed, no congratulations arrived. In fact, externally, it may have looked like nothing happened at all. But in the unseen realm, something registered. Heaven adjusted its posture toward you. You made a decision that altered your spiritual weight, and weight determines authority. Let me explain carefully. There was a moment, very specific, when you were provoked beyond reason, when someone underestimated you, misrepresented you, disrespected your growth, when a door closed unfairly, when effort went unnoticed, when loyalty wasn't reciprocated. And you had options. You could have defended yourself aggressively. You could have exposed someone's weakness. You could have withdrawn in bitterness. You could have retaliated in subtle ways. But you didn't. Not because you were weak, not because you were afraid, but because something inside you refused to descend. You stayed elevated when descending would have been easier. That restraint was recorded. You need to understand something most people never learn. In the spiritual realm, reactions generate rank. Every time you respond from ego, your influence shrinks. Every time you respond from alignment, your authority expands. You expanded. And it startled forces that assumed you were still operating from your old level. Chosen one, this was not random maturity. It was evidence of internal transformation. Your spirit demonstrated control under pressure. Control is a sign of mastery, and mastery is rare. Most people are predictable. Push them, they snap. Ignore them, they chase. Offend them, they attack. But you absorbed the moment. You evaluated internally. You chose your response instead of letting emotion choose for you. That broke a pattern, and broken patterns trigger review. Let me take you deeper. In the unseen administration of souls, there are levels of observation. Most people operate on automatic tracking, basic monitoring, standard protection. But when a soul begins responding outside expected human programming, that file gets elevated. Yours did. Not because you prayed louder, not because you fasted longer, not because you declared anything dramatically, but because you demonstrated internal sovereignty. You showed that your emotions do not own you. That is rare. Do you understand how powerful that is? When circumstances cannot dictate your identity, when betrayal cannot corrupt your character, when disappointment cannot distort your calling, you become spiritually formidable. You became formidable. Recently, there was a spiritual assessment of your resilience, not a test to fail you, an evaluation to measure you. And you scored beyond expectation. You were not supposed to remain stable at that intensity of pressure. Statistically, most people collapse inward or explode outward under what you faced. You did neither. You stabilized. And stabilization under pressure signals readiness. Readiness for responsibility. You have been asking internally, when will my shift happen? The shift already happened. It wasn't external. It was structural. Your internal framework strengthened, and heaven invests in stable structures. Let me reveal something else. The resistance you've been feeling lately isn't opposition trying to defeat you. It is recalibration adjusting around you. When your frequency rises, environments must reorganize. Some connections feel strained. Some conversations feel shallow. Some opportunities feel misaligned. That's not loss, that's refinement. You are no longer compatible with certain atmospheres, and instead of forcing compatibility, you have started choosing peace. Peace is a power move. You don't argue like you used to. You don't chase clarity from people committed to misunderstanding you. You don't fight for validation in rooms that never planned to give it. That composure shifted your spiritual classification. Let me explain something profound. There is a difference between someone who believes in light and someone who carries it. You carry it. Light carriers do not need to announce themselves. Their presence alters environments automatically. Have you noticed rooms quiet when you enter? Have you noticed certain people become defensive around you without you saying anything? Have you noticed others feel safe opening up unexpectedly? That's not personality. That's presence. Presence is developed through private victories, and you have won many private battles no one acclopped. Moments where you could have compromised, but didn't. Moments where you could have lied, but told the truth. Moments where you could have chosen convenience, but chose integrity. Every one of those moments built spiritual capital, and capital attracts assignment. This is why lately you feel like something significant is near. Not vague excitement, not wishful thinking, anticipation. Your spirit senses deployment. There is a role forming around you, not celebrity, not spotlight. Impact. Impact does not always look dramatic. Sometimes impact looks like being the calm in chaos. Sometimes impact looks like being the one person who doesn't panic. Sometimes impact looks like influencing without trying. But here is the critical part. Your recent response unlocked acceleration. Acceleration does not mean everything becomes easy. It means movement becomes intentional. Delays that were necessary have ended. Obstacles that served growth have completed their function. Now, alignment begins replacing resistance. You may notice opportunities appearing unexpectedly, resources arriving through unlikely channels, solutions forming without over-effort, clarity replacing confusion. This is not coincidence. When character solidifies, favor stabilizes. And your character stabilized under fire. Now let me say something very carefully. The restraint you showed was not weakness, it was advanced warfare. When you refused to retaliate, you denied darkness legal entry. When you chose composure, you blocked escalation. When you chose grace, you broke retaliation cycles that have existed in your family line. Yes, some of what you did was generational. You ended a pattern older than you. That is why it felt heavier than normal. That is why the decision felt unusually intense, because it wasn't just about that moment. It was about lineage. And you chose differently. Heaven marks people who end destructive cycles, because cycle breakers require reinforcement. You are now under reinforced guidance, which means you will sense direction more clearly. You will feel misalignment faster. You will recognize intuition stronger. Pay attention to subtle impressions in coming days. They will not shout, they will nudge. Follow them. Something is also being removed quietly. Protection sometimes looks like disinterest. If you suddenly lose desire for something you once chased, don't force it. If you feel detached from a situation you once obsessed over, honor that shift. Detachment is often divine insulation. You are being prepared for influence that requires emotional neutrality. Let me speak to the part of you that still doubts this. You think, I'm just trying my best. I'm not special. Exactly. You weren't performing. You were authentic. Authenticity under pressure is the highest spiritual signature. You didn't choose grace to impress anyone. You chose it because it aligned with who you are becoming. And that authenticity carries more weight than perfection. Perfection can be staged. Integrity cannot. Now hear this carefully. Your next season will not require you to fight as hard, because you already proved you can. When you demonstrate strength voluntarily, battles become selective. Not every attack will reach you now. Not every criticism will touch you. Not every scheme will gain access, because your internal authority has increased, and authority restructures access. Before you leave this moment, I need you to internalize something. You are not becoming powerful. You became powerful when you chose who you would not become. Read that again internally. Power is not in what you do, it is in what you refuse to descend into. You refused descent, and that decision recalibrated your future. From this point forward, move with awareness. You are not ordinary, not in arrogance, in assignment. You are being trusted with influence. Protect your mindset, guard your energy, choose your responses carefully, because now your reactions carry amplified impact. If something in this message resonated beyond emotion, if you felt recognition instead of excitement, if you sensed confirmation instead of hype, then you already know. Type 1111 in the comments, not as superstition, but as alignment, a quiet acknowledgement that you recognize the shift within yourself. Subscribe and stay connected, because this level of awareness requires reinforcement. Share this with someone who has been fighting silent battles and winning quietly. They need to know their restraint matters. Chosen one, you crossed a line recently, not into danger, into authority. And everything adjusting around you now is proof.